segment, Gold and Black Live. Kelly Kitchell joins us, with Brian Newbern and Alan Karpick, and we're glad that you're here. You got nothing going on in the world of football here in the next couple days. West Side tonight, Twin Lakes.
Twin Lakes
on
at
the
Twin
road.
Lakes. Yep.
Give us a scouting report first. What do your boys have? What do they have to do to win this? It'll be winning the sectional.
Yeah. They're all from championships from here on out, and you got to win the first one to get to the next one. And this is a team we've played already once, and it was a heck of a game. I mean, it ended up being a 20-point game, but it was just really, really back and forth, and be physical. We have to be a physical football team if we're going to win games, and that's what we're going to try to bring to the table tonight. And I know that they've got a great coach. They got Scott Mannering, who was my high school football coach, and so I know that they're very, very well coached. He's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, so he'll have them ready to go and have a few wrinkles we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, and you have 56-30. Was it 56-36 the first time around?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys like to score in numbers.
We like to. It makes life a lot easier when you can score in bunches.
All right,
easier to win when you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you outscore them, you get that W.
That's
flag.
right.
That's
Funny how
true.
that happens.
Yeah. Obviously, Purdue's got a big challenge ahead of it for tomorrow up in Minneapolis, and you'll be up there for that as well. We hit line play in the first segment, but Purdue's really, you've been around offensive lines that have had physical ailments. This is one that's dealing with that, and not a lot of depth in the first place. I'm talking about Purdue's against the Minnesota front that's pretty stout.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue's been dealing with it all year. So they've had guys trying to step up and play. I think Michael Mendez has been playing pretty well left tackle, I think. Some guys have battled through some injuries. You see Matt McCann out there with ankles all year, and Sermon trying to fill in when he can. They're beat up, but it's week 8 now?
Week 9, right?
9.
Yeah.
That's part of football. You're going to be beat up, and it's a physical game, and you got to find a way to get your body healthy enough for one day a week and try to rest up in between. So. They've got a lot of pride up front. Daryl Funk, I think, is a really, really good football coach as well, and I think that they'll have, they'll give her their best effort, and offensive line is a lot of mental too. I mean, it's a big time mental position. So if you can get them in the right spots and find Minnesota in the right positions where you can make a block and get things going, we can get some positive things going forward. They just got to mentally believe they can do it.
Yeah.
It feels like Purdue's tailored its game plan, too, around understanding that they've had some vulnerabilities there with some of the injuries, where you've seen more screens, you've seen more east-west passing as opposed to winging it down the field as much as they were in the first couple of games.
Well, with the guys, when you got ankles and you're banged up, you're not going to be able to hold up against good pass rushers, and you see that every day in the Big Ten. And they've got to figure out a way to get the ball out of David's hands quick. They got to find a way to get some positive yards on the short pass game. That's a screen. That's just get it out in the flats. And anytime you can make a pass to a wide receiver or somebody quick out there, and the defense has tackling in space, I think the offense has a better chance of getting positive yards if you make them tackle you in space. That's a hard thing to do. So, they're trying to work their way around it. You got to play with what you got. So work your way around it and see what happens, and play to your strengths.
TCF Bank Stadium was built after your playing days. You've been up there a few times. What's that facility like in terms of what's the environment like there? You're going to have a beautiful day tomorrow.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
We've been up there when it's been pretty cold.
Yeah.
You missed the Metrodome then, but it's an unbelievable park or stadium. It's pretty small and intimate.
Yeah.
It's 50,000 or so. It doesn't feel small though. I mean, they built it very, very well. They got, just ease of getting up and down for me to the press box to the field. For the players, it's a great intimate environment, and they've won a bunch of football games there. So I think it's really, really nice. I think they did a nice job putting it on campus. They used to be pretty far from campus, have students trouble trying to get there. So it's nice having the students be able to walk to games and enjoy it.
Jared Parker has infused some energy in a very difficult situation. You got to watch him on the sidelines the last 2 weeks. What have you seen from him? I know he's bringing energy to the and trying to keep these guys moving in the right direction. But from a body language standpoint, or your observations, what have you seen from Jared?
Well, I've seen his personality come through the team, and he's a guy that's going to give you everything he has. He's gonna be fired up and ready to go, and and you see that through the team as well. Obviously, the last 2 games, they kind of ran out of juice at the end. I think that the depth and injuries and things have taken the toll on Purdue, and they just kind of run out of juice when you give it so much early, and when you're not rotating things, especially on the defensive front, it's really tough to keep going.
Yeah.
But I think you see what Coach Parker can do early in a game, his game planning, getting guys ready to go. I mean, they're juiced and ready to roll right at the beginning of games. And now they're just trying to figure out how to be juiced, ready to go, and still have some in the tank to finish football games. But, we've had 2 pretty good games where we played really, really good football in the first half and just haven't been able to put it together to finish a game.
When you're limited in the first place and then you're hurt, but you're playing with emotion to start a game, or you're taking people by surprise in some ways, that's got to be hard to sustain over 60 minutes.
Well, I think we've seen that the last 2 weeks
exactly.
for sure. I mean, it's there. You won't see very many teams, especially in the Big Ten, that aren't rotating defensive linemen. I mean, we've seen Lorenzo Neal go darn near every play, Evan Panfield go darn near every play, Eddie Wilson. I mean, they're going. That's tough for a defensive line. Offensive line, we're kind of used to it. It's grind. Those defense, it is short, powerful, and they've got to chase down guys each time. Offensive line not chasing down guys. They got to run to the football, and they get gassed. And you need to have breaks. Every other team is able to do that. Purdue just doesn't have the depth right now, or feel like they don't have the depth to get guys in there ready to play Big Ten football. So it's they've got to either find a way to get some guys, steal some rest somehow. I thought in the first half, what the biggest piece last week of the first half was Purdue controlled the time of possession, and it kept that defense off the field. And I think that's one of the reasons we had such a good first half, is we were able to get first downs and keep the chains moving and sustain drives. And then coming out in the second half, we just couldn't get a first down. It really hurt us.
Yeah, and obviously Markell Jones is one that Purdue's run game needs to get unleashed a little bit. Obviously against Penn State, 23-yard run early on, made a lot by Jones's effort, but that's just absolutely critical that Purdue can control some of that, and I don't see that that's going to be an easy task tomorrow.
No, it's not. But you've got to try to run the ball. I mean, you've got to try to establish something, and I think that they'll get out there and they'll try to run it. But what I also know about Coach Parker and
Terry
the office
Malone,
and Terry Malone, they're gonna take what the defense gives for sure, and if they're giving them stuff, they're gonna try to exploit it and take it. And so we'll see what kind of game plan they come with, but you always got to try to establish that run at some point.
Yeah, the Purdue receivers, obviously, Cameron Posey's put up a little bit bigger numbers in terms of receptions lately, and yet they are almost doing the run pass or the quick passes out in the flat to get guys in space as fast as possible, and you hope that can help.
It's funny, Posey, I mean, he's been the third down guy.
Yeah.
It seems like every time he catches it, he's getting first downs. And Rob Blackman and I kind of joke while we're not on the air on the sideline, we're talking to each other. I said, man, we need to throw him a second down. First time we did it all the time. The guy just figures out how to get first downs, and he's really, really good getting open and catching the ball.
Okay, on to the next topic, and obviously Kelly, with being a Purdue alum and being part of the Rose Bowl team and playing under Joe Tiller, but we're now looking at a new coach, and you've talked a lot about identity and the need for this program to figure out what it is. How do you sell that right now, when you're looking to hire a new head football coach and talking about what is this product for that next person that's coming in here?
I think for Purdue to sell its football coaches, they've got to find a coach that knows exactly who they are, and whether it be they coming in and they feel like they know it, or they've proven that they know it over time as being a head coach. But you got to have a guy that is committed fully to what their program is going to be. And it doesn't. Honestly, I don't care what it is. If we're going to be the toughest team, we're going to have the best defense around, or if we're going to throw the ball all over, or we're going to run the wing tee. I don't really care what it is. I just want them fully committed to that, and I think Purdue to sell them on it. So we got your back, and we will give you every resource that we can to build your program. And I don't think, and honestly, I don't think it necessarily has to be facilities and things like that. I think you have to invest in the people, invest in the program, and saying we're not gonna be last in the Big Ten on our salary scale. We're not going to be at the end of this thing. If we want to compete for Big Ten championships, national championships, play in the Final Four, we have to give you those resources. I think from reading what Mike Babinski has said, hearing some things about the the upper management as well, that I think they're prepared to do that. And at least that's what I have the feeling that they are ready to take this next step, because these last few years have just been really, really tough on the fan base and on the Purdue brand as a whole. We got to figure out how to change that tone and move it forward.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue needs something to set Purdue apart. Purdue needs something where when somebody somewhere hears Purdue football, they know something about Purdue. Maybe Darrell Hazel would have worked had they had more success. Maybe, because Purdue was really, I don't mean this glib, putting a lot of eggs in that basket. In the sense that they really thought he was going to be a presence. He was going to be a guy that represented their university in a big-time way. He was going to be a guy who could really recruit effectively for them. Had they had more success in the field, had they had any success in the field, maybe that would have been different. But now Purdue needs, whether it's a system, whether it's a mentality, whether it's a signature personality, something. Purdue just needs something to make Purdue matter, make Purdue recognizable, give Purdue some semblance of brand. Winning would help. Winning is a good brand.
Winning always helps, but with your Purdue, when you're going to recruit, you've got to tell them who you are and where you're from. I mean, you're not from you don't have state in your name, you don't have those things, and those can be advantages or disadvantages. It doesn't really matter, but you got to give them a reason to start looking up and start Googling Purdue if they don't know where they're at, and figuring out what is going on there. It's in West Lafayette, Indiana. There's something special going on at Purdue, because I'm telling you, there's plenty of stuff going on here. If we can just get the tide rolling the right way, as far as, like I said, as far as facilities, as far as things like that, there's things that are here that they don't need anything else, I don't think, to be successful. You've got to bring in the right people with the right mentality and just say, here it is. Here's we're going to give you what you need. You can earn the rest, but we're going to get you started on the right foot, because for Purdue to make the hire, I mean, they've got to make one that's going to start turning some pages and start turning some heads and saying, oh, maybe they're really committed to football here somehow.
Yeah, and then that opportunity will be coming up sooner than later. Purdue alumni, football alumni, and it's been a good thing from people like yourself to your broadcast partner Pete Quinn and others. It's important to the guys that have played here that this gets turned around. And yet I've always been interested, it seems, and guys tend to be positive, have been very supportive of not only Danny Hope, but Darrell Hazel. But what do you think the football alumni base, where are they coming from in all of this, you think?
I think they're excited to see Purdue get back. And I mean, they just, I've got 3 or 4 text strings from buddies and things every weekend that, they start out excited, and then by the end they're like, dang it, we wish we could just get back. And then for these guys here, it's just really frustrating, because there's a lot of guys that have played before them that have experienced the greatness of Purdue. Yeah. I mean, what it's like when we're at, when things are rolling, and it's really, really, really fun on a Saturday. They can go out at night, and maybe, I don't know if they're getting ridiculed, but you go out and you have fun afterwards, and it's all everything coming together. And I really want these guys to be able to have that and experience that while they're here, because we all love Purdue so much, and a lot of us have had such great experiences through here that we want them to experience those same things. When we beat IU to go to the Rose Bowl, and there's, I don't know how many people on the field, but it was completely full. And you look at the stands, and they're like, man, the stands are full too. And it's unbelievable scene there. I want guys to be able to experience that too, because it's such a cool feeling. And I've got little kids that, they weren't around when Purdue was at that level, and I want them to experience it as fans too. They go to every game, sit on the front row, they're into every one. And I want them to, to have that too. Right now they just love being there, but I think they'd really dig it too if we were rolling a little bit. So I'm excited. I mean, former guys just want to see us get back, and like I said, we talk when we're talking about things, we talk about a lot of things that didn't have a whole lot to do with games. Yeah. But the experiences came from winning those games. The fun and all having everything go on. It came from having that success and moving forward.
Yeah. National Football Foundation, of which Kelly is the president of the local chapter, and I know that gets him all that extra money. It's just
Oh,
it's a
yes.
huge deal. But it actually performs an extremely important role, not from a Purdue fans' perspective. It's done so much to get some much well-deserved Purdue football players into the Hall of Fame. The initiatives there, we're still trying to kind of but try to get that to grow a little bit. But it will have the annual dinner in June, and have had some great celebration of Purdue football over the years. What's that been like for you to be a big part of that?
I love that. There's a reason I'm heavily involved with National Football Foundation. I believe in it. There's a couple big things that come out of there. First, we're recognizing high school student athletes who use the tools and things that football teaches, the toughness, the mental part, the sense of community, those things, and they apply them in real life. They're great at their studies. They're really good community people as well, and they're pretty decent football players. The football is the third on that list, but football has shaped them and how they view the world, and that's who we want. That's who we want to help and help as they move forward. And then also trying to have Purdue have a presence in various Hall of Fames, whether it's the Indiana Football Hall of Fame or the College Football Hall of Fame. That comes through the NFF, and we can have our votes on that. So it's important for us to continue to move forward and grow our membership so we can continue to have Purdue to have that presence. I mean, there's some really, really good football players and important guys that are not in those Hall of Fames, and we need to continue to move forward on that.
Yeah, it's the Joe Tiller chapter, and it has grown. Obviously, when Joe Tiller, 2 or 3 years after he got here, the Jim Vrujink and others were involved with getting this off the ground, and the numbers have grown, and yet we're trying to keep that membership at a high level. You look at the opportunities. We talk about guys, Purdue football players that aren't in the Hall of Fame outside of Kelly Kitchell, the College Football Hall of Fame. But Rod Woodson is one that we got some names identified of guys that might be able to move forward to try to move to the next level.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. Rod Woodson's not in the College Football Hall of Fame, but that's one of the main reasons is we haven't had a strong chapter to help them through that process, and so being able to get guys in there is such a big deal. And like I said, there's some definite advantages to keeping that thing going. So we're gonna do all we can to move the NFF forward and raise some money so that we can continue this chapter and keep fighting.
All right, Kelly. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and you'll be on the road to Monticello here before long. What time's game time? 7
o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
And what do they still call it, the reservation up there? What do they call the home field at?
I don't know what they call it.
You know how to
all
get
I know
there.
is they've got some pretty good food up there, and it was a great atmosphere last time we played. I plan on it being a great atmosphere. Usually when the city boys from West Lafayette come to town, they bring a cow out there and parade them around and think it's going to spook us, but little they know we got an offensive line coach who grew up on a farm, so we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We got them out working on the farms in the summer, so they're
Have
okay.
people from West Lafayette never seen cows before?
I guess not. I don't know. I think
I'm from New Jersey, and there's more cows here than anywhere. I've never been prior
there's
to coming
plenty.
here.
There's plenty around here.
But
Everything's
Kelly,
relative, I guess.
Kelly may have that agriculture life as his background, and he does. But he gets on a corporate jet on Saturday morning and flies up to Minnesota.
Good to know
That's
people.
a good deal.
It is good to know the right people.
You're living the high life. At least that you'll be at TCF Bank Stadium tomorrow afternoon. So, all right, Kelly, thanks so much. We appreciate
thanks
it.
for
We'll
having me
look
on.
forward to go to
Pleasure.
segment
Always,
three.
always.
Segment 3, and bring out Kyle Charters to wrap this puppy up, and we'll be back in 2 minutes to do just that.